Good morning, fellow Guardians. So, day one raid is fast approaching on the 22nd of May, which is this coming Saturday at 6 p.m. British Standard Time. The Vault of Glass Part 2 will arrive in contest mode. So, I've just thought I'd put together a little video about the potential runs my team's going to be using for the day one raid. Now, in order to access this, your power will need to be 1300. So if you haven't got there quite yet, definitely you've got a week to sort of farm it out, try and get up there. Now, the contest mode will be for the first 24 hours. Now, in order to complete this as World's First, you'll need to complete all the way through the Vault of Glass, and then you need to go back through and do the challenge mode, which is actually new for Bungie, which will probably include different challenges for each encounter of the raid. So it'll probably be one of the longer World's First raids they've ever done. So, without further ado, let's see what we're going to be running. Now, many teams, World's First teams, are just going for survivability in the raid. So, many teams will go straight in as 6 Warlocks with Wells just to stay alive, and bubbles and things, just stay alive so they can work out the encounters. But if you want to try and get it like a more even sort of build together, what I'd recommend is 2 Hunters, 2 Warlocks, and 2 Titans. Now, this is what we're going to be running. So, each one of those classes is going to run a support, and the other one will run a damage. So as you can see here, this is going to be the damage one for my hunter. So one hunter would run Golden Gun, for example. Now I've put on the Star Eater scales, which is the new leg armors. Now this actually gives you more damage buff than the Celestial Nighthawk if you pick up the Orbs of Power. So that's one of the best ones to do for that. And for the other hunter, you can run Tether for survivability, some invisibility as well. Now you're probably looking at wondering why I'm running Witherhoard. Now, if you have a look in the artifact, you can see this perk at the end called Breach and Clear. So when using a grenade launcher, damaging a boss, damaging a champion, or breaking a combatant's shield, reloads your stowed weapons and causes the combatant to take increased damage for a short duration. Now this could be very, very handy for any boss encounters. So it's nice to have one, maybe 2 people running this. With a Witherhoard would be amazing, because obviously Witherhoard, grenade launcher, consistent damage. Hopefully that will keep up with the damage debuff as well. Now, obviously, in terms of moddage, we don't really know what champions are going to be in there, so I'd definitely cover all bases. So, obviously, Overload, Unstoppable, and Anti-Barrier with whatever else you want to run. Okay, so in terms of, that's it for the Hunter. Moving on to the Warlocks. Now, Warlocks, I'd probably recommend 1 Warlock as a well, maybe 2 as a well, just for a bit more support, and 1 as a Nova, just for a bit of extra damage. And in terms of damage, we'd probably recommend definitely using, well, 1K is very good, or at the minute, the linear fusion rifles are absolutely amazing as well, because linear fusion rifles have actually had the increased damage buff of 15%. So that's definitely what we're going to be running. We're probably going to run maybe 5 or 6 sleeper simulants. So we'll run 5 sleeper simulants and 1 Witherhoard. That'll be our best bet. That's mainly for the damage buff, but in terms of everything else, moving on to Titans, probably 2 bubbles, maybe Ursa Furiosas, or if you want 1 damage, you can always go for the Code of the Missile, the Thunder Crash with the Cuirass of the Falling Star. That's amazing damage as well. I'm sure you all know that if you've done the Deepstone Crypt with the Atrax as well. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to be running. We're going to do 2 Hunters, 2 Warlocks, 2 Titans, 1 support on each class, and 1 damage. Now, that's basically it from me, guys. What I will do though is I will show you what the new raid belt will look like. So if you do actually manage to get the World's First, you will acquire this raid belt here. And also, if you complete it within the first 24 hours, you will also get, normally it's the emblem as well. But moving on from there, let's have a look at some of the other rewards. We can actually see in the flare the new shaders which are going to be available. Head over to the seasons, down here, Omnicronia is the first one. So complete the Vault of Glass raid to unlock this in Eververse. So let's have a look at that. It's a nice gold sort of colour, very sort of Leviathan looking. Really like the look of that. And the Continuum Alloy. Now this is a very odd looking shader. It's sort of iridescent colours. But I'd have thought that would be, normally they have 1 for Flawless and 1 for Not. But that's it from there. In terms of the armour though, you can have a look on Little Light. That's where I found out about most of the armour. But yep, that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you guys can get in on day 1 on reset on Saturday and enjoy the raid. Let us know how you're getting on as well. Toodles.